Good evening. Let me talk to the ones who feel like they're carrying the weight of the world right now. If you're struggling, this is for you. Life can knock you down, can it? Sometimes it feels like it keeps punching, and you wonder if you'll ever get back up. But let me tell you something, you're not alone in this. Struggles? Oh, we all face them. They come in different shapes, different sizes, but the pain, that's universal. What makes the difference is what you choose to do next. You see, life isn't about avoiding the storm. It's about learning to dance in the rain. That might sound cliche, but think about it. What if, instead of asking, why is this happening to me, you started asking, what is this teaching me? Change your perspective and you change the game. And don't fear failure. Oh no, failure is the foundation of every success story. It's not the end, it's the beginning. Think of a bow and arrow. Sometimes you've got to be pulled back to be launched forward. Your failures, they're setting you up for your launch. Now, when I talk about faith, I don't just mean religion. I mean faith in something bigger than you. Maybe it's faith in God, in love, in your purpose, or in yourself. You've got to believe there's a light at the end of the tunnel, even when all you see is darkness. Hold on to that belief like it's a lifeline. But faith alone isn't enough. You've got to move. Even if it's a crawl, move forward. Take one step and then another. Progress is progress, no matter how small. The only way to fail is to stop trying. And don't think you have to do it alone. No one climbs a mountain without a rope, without a guide, without support. Lean on the people who love you, who want the best for you. Let them help you carry the load when it gets too heavy. Finally, remember this struggle builds strength. Diamonds only form under pressure. You're being shaped, molded, prepared for something greater. And when you come out of this, and you'll be stronger, wiser, and ready to take on the world. So if you're struggling, hear me now. You've got this. The world isn't against you, it's challenging you. Rise up, step forward, and show life what you're made of. Because trust me, you're stronger than you think. Life has a way of testing us, doesn't it? It doesn't ask for permission, doesn't send a warning. One day you're standing tall, and the next you're on your knees, wondering how you got there. And it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to admit that you're struggling. Too often, we're told to hide it, to mask it, to pretend like everything is fine. But let me tell you something, there's no shame in struggle. Struggle is part of being human. Every person you admire, every success story you've ever heard, they face their battles. Some have fought through heartbreak, others through loss, failure, or self-doubt. You are not the only one. This pain you're feeling, it's real, it's heavy, and it can feel like it's too much. But it doesn't make you weak, it makes you alive. The fact that you're here, still standing, still searching for answers, means you haven't given up. That's strength. That's courage. The struggle might make you feel like you're alone, like no one could possibly understand, but the truth is, you're not alone. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment you've doubted yourself has been felt by someone else. And here's the thing, struggle doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're growing. It's a sign that you're pushing, that you're trying, that you're reaching for something better. Struggle is the soil where resilience takes root, and the pain you're feeling now is shaping you into someone stronger than you ever imagined. So acknowledge it. Feel it. Don't run from it. Because what you're facing is not the end of your story, it's the middle. And the middle is where the transformation happens. The way you see things has the power to change everything. When you're in the middle of a struggle, it's easy to feel like the world is against you. You might find yourself asking, why me? Why is this happening now? But what if just for a moment you shifted that question? Instead of asking why, ask, what is this teaching me? What can I learn from this? Perspective isn't about ignoring the pain or pretending things aren't hard. It's about choosing to see the possibility hidden within the challenge. Imagine standing in front of a mountain. From one angle, it looks impossible to climb, too steep, too high, too overwhelming. But if you step to the side, you might see a path winding its way up. The mountain hasn't changed the way you see it has. Life works the same way. When you're in the thick of it, it's hard to see anything but the problem. But perspective allows you to find meaning, even in the struggle, that heartbreak. It might be clearing the way for a love you truly deserve. That failure, it's preparing you for a breakthrough you couldn't have imagined. The obstacle in front of you isn't the end of the road, it's part of the journey. And here's the truth: the way you choose to see your struggle determines the kind of strength it will give you. When you decide to see setbacks as setups for something greater, they lose their power to defeat you. When you focus on what's still in your control, instead of what's gone wrong, you start to find solutions. Perspective is the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be. You might not be able to change your circumstances overnight, but you can change how you face them. That shift in mindset, that decision to look for the lesson, the growth, the opportunity can transform your pain into purpose. And when you find purpose in your struggle, you take back your power. Because nothing can break you when you decide it's building you instead. Failure isn't the end of the road, it's just a step along the way. It's easy to look at failure and see it as a stop sign, a dead end that tells you to turn around and give up. But that's not what failure is. Failure is a teacher, a mentor that shows you what doesn't work so you can figure out what does. It's not there to break you, it's there to shape you. Think about it: every great success story you've ever heard is built on a foundation of failure. The most inspiring people, the ones who've achieved the unthinkable, have all faced setbacks, rejection, and moments where the world told them, you can't do it. But they didn't stop. They used those moments to learn, to grow, to refine their craft, their vision, their strength. Failure is proof that you're trying, that you're stepping out of your comfort zone and reaching for something more. And yes, it hurts. It stings to fall short, to see your efforts crumble in front of you. But those moments of falling, they're also moments of discovery. They show you where you need to improve, where you need to focus, and how much you're willing to fight for what you want. Think of failure like the soil that nourishes a seed. Without it, growth doesn't happen. Without the struggle, the setbacks, and the lessons learned, success would have no depth, no meaning. Failure forces you to dig deeper, to find the resilience within yourself that you didn't even know was there. It's the push that keeps you moving forward when standing still isn't an option. And here's the beauty of failure: every time you get back up, you're stronger. Every time you try again, you're wiser. Failure doesn't define you, what you do afterward does. So don't fear it, embrace it. Because every step you take, even the ones that feel like a stumble, is bringing you closer to the person you're meant to be. When the world feels like it's closing in, and the weight of your struggle feels unbearable, faith and inner strength become your lifelines. Faith isn't just about religion, it's about belief. It's the belief that there's something greater than the moment you're in right now. It's believing that the pain, the obstacles, and the setbacks aren't the end of the story, but just a chapter in it. Faith whispers to you when everything else feels silent. It tells you to keep going, even when you don't see the whole path ahead. It's the quiet confidence that there's a purpose behind the chaos, even if you don't understand it yet. And when you pair that faith with your inner strength, you become unstoppable. Your inner strength is that deep well inside you that you tap into when you think you've got nothing left. It's the voice that says, "Not today," when life tries to knock you down. Sometimes that strength doesn't roar, sometimes it's just a whisper. A whisper that says, take one more step. Just one more, and that's enough. Because each step forward, no matter how small, proves that you're stronger than you thought you were. Faith and inner strength work together. Faith gives you the vision, the belief that better days are ahead. Inner strength gives you the drive to get there, even when the road is hard and the nights are long. Together, they remind you that you're never truly alone. Whether it's faith in God, in your dreams, in the people who love you, or in your own resilience, that belief creates a foundation you can stand on when everything else feels shaky. Life will test you, that's a guarantee. But faith and inner strength are what carry you through. They remind you that no matter how dark it gets, the light is always there. You just have to keep moving toward it. And when you look back, you'll see that the strength you needed was within you all along. You just had to believe enough to find it. When life feels overwhelming and the weight of your struggles pins you down, the easiest thing to do is nothing. It's tempting to stay still, to wait for the pain to pass, or for someone to come along and pull you out. But nothing changes without action. Stagnation may feel safe, but it's also a trap. It keeps you rooted in the very place you're trying to leave. Action doesn't have to be grand or dramatic. It doesn't have to be a leap. It can be a single small step. When you're facing a mountain, looking at the peak can feel impossible. But if you focus on the next foothold, suddenly the climb becomes manageable. That's the power of action, no matter how small. It creates momentum. Even when the path is unclear, moving forward matters. Waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect answer will leave you stuck. The truth is, perfection never comes. But progress, that's always within reach. Every step you take, no matter how uncertain, is a step away from where you don't want to be. Action is also how you take back control. When you're struggling, it's easy to feel powerless, like life is happening to you, not for you. But the moment you decide to act, to make a call, write a plan, or even just get out of bed, you remind yourself that you have agency. You're not a passive participant in your story, you're the author. And here's the thing about action, it feeds itself. The more you move, the more energy you find to keep moving. One small win leads to another, and before you know it, you've built a foundation of progress. Stagnation, on the other hand, feeds doubt. The longer you stay still, the louder the voices of fear and insecurity become. So when you feel stuck, don't wait for the perfect answer. Just start. Start messy, start scared, but start. Because movement, no matter how slow, brings clarity. And every step forward is proof that you're still in the fight. Remember, it's not about how fast you go, it's about refusing to stay where you are. No one is meant to go through life alone, especially in times of struggle. The weight of the world feels lighter when you have people to help carry it with you. Your support system, your friends, family, mentors, or even a community of strangers who understand what you're going through can be the difference between sinking and staying afloat. When you're struggling, it's easy to isolate yourself. You might feel like no one could possibly understand what you're facing, or maybe you don't want to burden others with your problems. But the truth is, the people who care about you want to help. They want to be there for you, not because they have all the answers, but because your struggle matters to them. Support systems provide something that's hard to find on your own perspective. When you're in the middle of a storm, it's hard to see beyond the clouds. But someone standing beside you outside of the storm can remind you that the sky will clear. They can offer advice, a listening ear, or simply a reminder that you're not alone. There's strength in vulnerability, and reaching out for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of courage. It takes strength to say, I need you, or I can't do this on my own, and when you let people in, you're not just giving yourself a lifeline, you're deepening those relationships. Struggles have a way of bringing people closer, of forging bonds that wouldn't exist otherwise. Your support system can also serve as a source of inspiration. Seeing the strength of others, how they've overcome their own challenges, can remind you of what's possible. Their belief in you, even when you doubt yourself, can be the spark that keeps you going. So don't be afraid to lean on the people around you. Let them be your safety net when you're falling, your cheering squad when you're climbing, and your reminder that you don't have to face life's challenges alone. Because with the right people by your side, even the hardest battles become a little easier to fight. And sometimes just knowing someone is there is all the strength you need to take the next step. Resilience is the quiet promise that no matter how hard life gets, you have the ability to rise again. It's not about avoiding the struggles, it's about facing them and coming out stronger on the other side. Life will test you, push you, and sometimes break you, but resilience is the part of you that refuses to stay broken. Think of resilience like a muscle. It grows stronger every time you use it. Every setback, every heartbreak, every failure, it all adds to your strength, even when it doesn't feel like it in the moment. Resilience doesn't mean you won't feel pain or doubt. It means you'll keep going despite it. It's the refusal to let hardship define you. When you're in the middle of a tough season, it's easy to feel like it will last forever. But resilience reminds you that storms always pass. It's what helps you keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear. It doesn't promise that life will be easy, but it does promise that you'll get through it. Because resilience isn't just about bouncing back, it's about bouncing forward. Resilience teaches you that struggle has a purpose. It shapes you, prepares you, and equips you for what's to come. Every time you overcome something, you add another layer to your character. You gain wisdom, strength, and the ability to handle even greater challenges. The very things that once made you stumble become the foundation you stand on. And here's the truth: resilience isn't just something you're born with, it's something you build. It grows every time you choose to get back up, every time you decide to face another day, every time you refuse to let life's difficulties keep you down. It's a promise to yourself that no matter how many times you fall, you will rise again. Resilience also gives you perspective. When you've endured the worst and made it through, you realize just how capable you are. It reminds you that even when things seem impossible, you've already overcome so much and you can do it again. So trust in the promise of resilience. It's in you, even when you feel like it's not. It's what carries you through the darkest nights and brings you to brighter mornings. And when you look back on the challenges you faced, you'll see they weren't there to stop you, they were there to strengthen you for the journey ahead. Thank you.